Hi everyone, it's Sunday morning and welcome to this Super Rugby Week 5 Handicap Projection Show. The aim of the show is for me to get my handicaps out there early, wait for the bookmakers to come out. GG Gaming should be out at about 11 o'clock this morning and see if there's any major differences. If there's a difference, I analyze, am I wrong? Is the bookmaker wrong? If the bookmaker's wrong, then I climb in. So here are my early caps, but before we do that, let's just have a quick recap of some of the weekend's rugby. Looking at the results of Super Rugby, this was on Friday morning. Crusaders against the Highlanders. Crusaders by 20. This is the fifth time in a row the Crusaders have hosted the Highlanders and beaten the sort of handicap, which was sitting around 16 points. We got this correct in the preview, got us off to a good start. The Rebels against the Sharks, well, I took the -2.5 Sharks in the preview. That disappeared fairly quickly afterwards. But the good news is if you took 3.5, 4.5, 5.5, you were safe. The Sharks put in an excellent performance to win 36-24. Moving on to Saturday, we had the Chiefs against the Brumbies. That was the Brumbies by 12 points there. Now, this was a huge shock. I mean, the Brumbies raced to a 26-0 lead. Unfortunately, the Chiefs are forming part of our best bet for the weekend. We thought they would arrive on the handicap. I even took reduced odds of -9.5. It was not in the running at all. The Brumbies blew them away. Not sure what to read into this Chiefs performance, but doubt many punters saw this result coming. And it certainly ensured that there were very few Super Brew full houses on the weekend, that's for sure. The Reds up against the Sunwolves. The Reds absolutely running away with us. We did like them and went for them on the preview at 14.5. They blitzed the Sunwolves 64-5 to win, absolutely going away. Let's just scan down to the remaining results. The two afternoon games. We had the Stormers beating the Jaguares by 10 in another low-scoring encounter. They finally conceded their first try at Newlands. We won the -6.5 at 8-10 in the preview, so a good result in that one. And then the Bulls against the Blues. Well, in the preview pick here at 6-1, I went Blues leading at halftime, Bulls to win. It actually ended up being exactly the opposite. The Bulls leading at the break thanks to a late try by Mornay Steyn, but the Blues coming back to win the match. It was wet. The Loftus surface, I don't know what has happened to it. It used to be such a firm surface, a lot like Ellis Park, used to drain well, and now it's absolute a nightmare to play on. So very disappointing that. Just to touch on the Six Nations at the time here, there's still another game to go. Sorry, just switching off the phone there. And just pause that for a second. There's still another game to go this afternoon, but I was on France to beat Wales at 21-10. A nice win there and certainly ensured a profitable weekend for me. Let's move on, though, and I'm just going to share another screen now. We'll move on to the new week's handicaps. And just going to find the screen here. And I'm opening the thread on the Good for the Game forum. So I will put a link down in the description box. You can go down and find that. We've got the Highlanders up against the Rebels. And here I've gone a -13.5 Highlanders. I think they're going to be firm favourites against a Rebels team that is disappointed this season. And the Highlanders, although they were beaten by 20 by the Crusaders, they weren't that bad at the end of the day. The Waratahs up against the Lions. I've gone Waratahs -6.5. Really just been swung by home ground advantage. But the Lions must be in with some sort of a squeak here. Hurricanes against the Sunwolves. These are big handicaps. It's going to be hard to cap this one. I've gone -33.5. The Hurricanes here. I am expecting them to rest a few players, but gee, from what I saw of the Sunwolves on the weekend, yeah, this cap could be anywhere between 30 and 40 points. Reds up against the Sharks. This is a tough one. The Sharks are playing really well. I initially thought, well, Reds should be favourites on the basis of home ground. They're also playing some good rugby. And I am going to give it to the Reds, but by the narrowest of margins. I'm basically making this a choice game at -0.5 point. I do suspect, though, that money would come at my line. And then the more I think about this one, the more I'd probably be shifting the Sharks to favour. But I'm going, in this thing, I always go with my initial instinct. My initial instinct was a choice game here. Stormers up against the Blues. And I've gone Stormers a -9.5. I think the Blues are going to struggle to break down that defence. And the handicap's going to be somewhere close to a double-digit one. Bulls against the Jaguares. Here, interesting one as well. I think the Bulls will shade favouritism on the basis that they're at home at Loftus. Hopefully they can improve on last week's showing. But this should be a tight game, and I wouldn't be surprised to see the handicap somewhere closer to a choice one as well. That brings us then to the end of the show. Just a reminder of some of the things you can look forward to later in the week. We've got Use It or Lose It. That's Monday night at 9 o'clock. We're going to be reviewing the Super Rugby and Six Nations games, talking about any hot topics that are on in rugby at the moment. On Thursday night at 8:15, we got GG Gaming Gone Mad sports betting preview with plenty of betting vouchers and promotions on the night. And then our flagship rugby betting show, the Handicap Rugby Chat That Matters. I'll have a panel of rugby punters on the show to share that with you. And then I haven't got a tag for it right now, but I see there's Sevens Rugby, the Los Angeles Sevens coming up. Hopefully we'll get Sean Nicholas, aka Rugger Bugger, and Son of a Punt on to talk about that. Just a reminder that GG Gaming will be out with their handicaps at 11, so pop onto their site, or 11:30 today. Pop onto their site, have a look, and compare them to mine. Have a good weekend's punting. Go down below in the description box. You'll find a link to this week's Rugby Forum thread. Also, how to get onto our Friday betting email with our best bets. Not a lot of success last week in that one. We just picked the wrong games, I'm afraid. And if you are new to our video, do hit the subscribe button.